Welcome to Small Business, Big Network, the podcast for small business owners who want big results from their networking. I'm Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist who knows that if you're not working, then networking could help. Esther Rands is an apprentice solicitor with Rands Solicitors, a family-run law firm based in North Lincolnshire. Esther says that networking has been invaluable to their business, particularly in terms of building up a network of trusted suppliers to whom they can outsource some of their tasks. Thank you very much for being my podcast guest today, Esther.
No worries, thank you so much for having me.
Now, I think you're possibly the youngest guest that I've had so far on the podcast, but even so, I know you've already had a bit of a change of career path. Tell me what it was you started out doing.
So originally I trained to be a fashion designer, something I started at 18 and then stopped at 21 and changed to law, and to be fair, it's the best change I've ever made.
That's a really big change. What was it that drew you to fashion in the first place?
I suppose I've always been quite creative. It was always something that I was drawn more to than academically. So something I always concentrated on at school, did all the creative choices I could, worked to get to that point where I could go to fashion school. Went to fashion school when I was 18, and it stayed there really, and it was always something I really wanted, and then just one day something changed and here I am in law.
So what made you want to switch to law then?
A bit crazy really. I never intended on being a lawyer, never intended on training to go to law school or anything. It was in my first summer after my first year of my fashion degree. Worked in my previous law firm, was actually only supposed to be there for a week to help. Ended up staying the entire summer and then stayed on for another 3.5 years. So it was a bit of a crazy change really. And during that summer, things weren't working out in my fashion degree, and my mum, who is also a lawyer, she was like, why don't you just convert your degree to law? And admittedly did finish the fashion degree, and then after that started the apprenticeship on the solicitor apprenticeship. So it's gone from there really.
So when did you start in law? How long have you been in this field now?
Close to 4 years. I started when I was 19, I'm now 23. So I've not been in it a great deal, but a lot has happened the amount of the time I have been in it.
And you must have had quite a good insight into the field of law, since your mum's already working in law herself.
Oh, always. I mean, my entire life, my mum's been a lawyer. She's been a lawyer for 30 odd years. So I've always been involved. And to be fair, I think initially that was probably why I never wanted to be a lawyer. But something just clicked and it changed. So yeah, I've always been involved, always been around the law, whether it be knowing my mum's professional contacts or just knowing people within other businesses and other lawyers, really.
And so you now work with your mum and also your sister, don't you? You're all in business together. What made you set that family business up?
So it's a bit of a weird one really. How Rands Solicitors came from quite what was a difficult time in our lives, both personally and professionally. It's always a dream my mum's had. The opportunity just never arose. Like I mentioned, I never wanted to be a solicitor, so my mum never had that continuity. And same goes for my sister. I wanted to be a fashion designer. She wanted to be a vet. So my mum never thought she had that continuity to start a family business and then it go for forever really. So when we did, perfect, and then the opportunity arose and we took it. It almost became like a passion project for us during that difficult time, and it was really like a light at the end of a tunnel.
And when was that? When was the business actually started?
The business was started in November 22. We became like an entity in the July and then started trading in November.
So you're still very new then, aren't you?
Yes, I think we're into our 6th month of trading or something crazy.
And how's it going so far?
Amazingly, honestly. It was such a worry starting the business up, but the amazing response we've had, honestly, like I sometimes can't even put it into words how amazingly it's gone for us. It's crazy. It's absolutely blown our minds.
And are you based from home?
We are currently. So we're based in Wootton. Currently based from our home office, which was an initial idea, with the hope to grow quite quickly. And it's nice to know we have actually got that in train. So hopefully we'll be opening another office very, very soon.
Fantastic. And what's it like working with your mum and your sister?
Oh, I get this question all the time.
I bet.
And 9 times out of 10, I always give the same answer. Not many people can say they work with two of the people they love most in the world, whereas I can. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it's all sunshines and rainbows every day, because it's not. We're three very different people with three very different ideas, but the best thing that binds us all together is that we all have the same want and outcome for the business. We only want the business to grow and expand, and whatever's best for the business we will always come together on.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So how does the apprenticeship programme work?
So it's a little different to the usual route. The apprenticeship includes training whilst on the job, and then you also do your degree alongside. So I'm a second year law student technically, but only do it once a week, and it's all from home, all online. It's ideal really to work it around my actual job. So it's a 6-year long programme. You do 4 years of your degree, and then the last 2 years are your solicitor qualifying examinations. So it's a bit similar to the ordinary route, but you've just got so much more experience in the field rather than all that academic experience. I'm not saying we don't have the academic experience, we get that alongside. We just have a great deal amount more of physical working.
Yeah. And I suppose one of the biggest advantages must be that you're not paying, you're being paid to do your qualification.
Absolutely, it's absolutely perfect. So the government pay a good chunk of it. There is a little fee we have to, our businesses, our employers have to pay. But we then, like you say, get paid a wage for doing so. It's amazing. I don't know why more people don't do it, to be fair.
And so what kind of law does your company deal with?
So we are primarily family law specialists. So we deal with everything from divorces, separations to child arrangements, and then there's like a couple of odd other bits within that sector of law we also touch, but it is mainly the divorce, any financial issues arising out of divorce and separation, and any private children arrangements.
And do you think that you'll continue to focus on family law, or do you think as the business gets bigger that you might expand to other areas too?
Oh, absolutely. It's my preferred area of law is actually wills and probate, so that is something we are really investing in and working towards and building, which is something that should be happening within the next couple of months. But also conveyancing's such a big area of law. Everyone 9 times out of 10 is going to need a conveyancer at least once in their life. So it's definitely a department we are going to grow into. The same goes for the wills and probate. So hopefully that's something within the next couple of months, years, we'll grow to. Anything further than that, we're not 100% sure on. We're concentrating on what are our strengths currently. And then anything else is a bonus.
Yeah. Well, you're only 6 months in, so you've got plenty of time to decide what else you might want
absolutely.
to do. And do you have a particular favourite area of law that you like to work in? Yes,
so wills and probate is most certainly my preferred area of law. I previously have worked in wills and probate for 1.5 years at a previous firm, and it's something that does particularly interest me. It's so interesting to really delve into that. I mean, I know I've spoken to some people and they think it's a bit morbid, because obviously it's to do with death and then the inheritance and all the estates that follow that. But to me, it's so interesting, and there's so many interesting people you meet doing this area of law.
Yeah, and it's really important as well, isn't it? And something that a lot of people put off doing.
Oh, absolutely. I read something on LinkedIn this morning, like all the excuses as to why people don't have wills, and I look at it and think these are the exact reasons you need a will. So I'm a massive advocate for people having wills and protecting their assets and protecting their loved ones at the end of the day. It's those who struggle when the time does come.
Yeah. Now, I believe your sister is also on the apprenticeship programme, is that right?
She very nearly. She's due to start this September. So she's working towards that. She's been accepted. It's amazing, really. She got in quite quickly, and I think it's something she's really looking forward to. So hopefully, going from September, she'll be able to start that training and just grow from there.
Yeah, and like you say, you can't understand why more young people don't go down the apprenticeship route. So how much contact do you have with your university? Which university is it?
It's the BPP University. They have a selection of universities all around the country. I'm based at the one in Leeds. With the apprenticeship, we don't have the physical contact you would on a normal university degree. It's all online. You have one day a week where you take out from work and you do your law work. So not much physical contact, but online contact, again, it's once a week usually, unless you've got a term where it's like a reading term or you're doing your portfolio. So not as much as the general degree, but to be fair, I'm not complaining. It works really well.
Yeah, and you don't feel that you're missing out at all by not going away to university?
Absolutely not. Like I said, with my fashion degree, I've already done it. And I hated it the first time. There was no way I was going to do it a second time. So this is perfect. And to be fair, I don't know why I didn't do it the first time.
So what's your mum's background? What area of law was she working before she started her own business?
She's always been a family lawyer. She's touched in other areas of law over the years, but she's been, like I said, she's been a lawyer for 30 odd years. She is a family law specialist. She's got so much knowledge, expertise in this area of law. Previously, she was also practicing the care work. Not something we can currently do at the moment, but it's something we're working towards. But the amount of cases she's taken over the years and what are quite big cases of like the care work is amazing. She's got this huge like career timeline of just these cases she's brought an amazing end to. So she's fabulous in this area of law, and I think anyone who knows my mum would also say the same.
Now you're based in Wootton, but what area do you work in? Which area do you cover?
So we cover all really. We cover North Links, North East Links, bits of Hull. We've got clients in Lincoln. We've got people from Scarborough. We're really not confined to our one area. We've found since starting the business, people will travel. They will travel for our service really, but we're very adaptable. We'll do Teams, we'll do telephone, we'll do what suits the client. So realistically, we could have clients from anywhere in the country, and we'd still be able to do it.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the internet, isn't it? That it does open up your business to a much wider audience.
Oh, absolutely, it's fabulous. I mean, a handful of years ago, this probably never would have been a thing, and we would have been very confined to North Links and North East Links. But the fact that the internet has allowed us to grow the business, and to be fair, it's the internet that's probably growing the business so quickly, is that we can gain all these clients from all over the country.
Yeah. Now let's have a chat about networking now. Are you the one that does the networking for your business?
So it's a mix of us all really. So there's 5 in the team, and we try to equalise it out of who goes. So it really does depend on who's available and who really wants to go. 9 times out of 10, I will go. I mean, I do quite enjoy networking. It's a lovely chance to meet new people. But like I say, it's a real team effort when it comes to the networking, because we all know if we all build these networks, it's gonna get bigger. Our network's gonna certainly grow.
Yeah. And how would you say that you use networking, and what kinds of events do you go to?
So like yourself, Liz, we're part of Business Hive, so we go to a lot of their events. And we use the networking to build our professional network. So within our business, we often need to outsource work. We work with a lot of accountants, a lot of estate agents, a lot of surveyors, you name it, anything that is involved in the matrimonial side where we need external experts. It's always really good to meet these people in person to get a grasp of who they are, how they work, and ultimately to make sure they're going to give our client the best outcome. So really utilising these network events is great because we meet so many new people rather than restricting ourselves to just one firm or one person to rely on. We've got a great deal of network that we can give our clients a choice, really.
Yes, yeah. And how do you find networking? Do you find it easy? Do you find it hard to break into conversations? What's it like for you?
And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I find it easy. I'm not amazing at networking, but I give it a whirl. I give it a try. It's funny, really. Like going back to my fashion degree, I remember when we were 19. And I don't know why they thought this was a great idea at 19, but we spent a whole entire 2 weeks learning how to network. I'm not really sure why they thought a bunch of 19-year-olds were going to appreciate this. I mean, to be fair, at the time I probably didn't, but now thinking they meant it out of all greatness of their heart to help us with this. So that 2 weeks of training really did end up actually becoming quite invaluable.
Yeah.
But I do like it, and I do really enjoy talking to other people and listening to what they've got to tell me and how maybe we can work together. And in more of a personal sense as well, it's just lovely talking to people, especially after the 2.5 years we had of COVID where we didn't really talk to anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really interesting that the college spent 2 years teaching you how to network. I think maybe that they ought to teach more students how to network effectively.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at 19, like I say, I didn't appreciate it, but I'd be eager to tell any 19-year-old, go and do it because you definitely got to need it.
Yeah, and on that note then, why would you encourage other small businesses to get out there and network?
I mean, it's proved so invaluable to us. Like when we were starting up the business, we've created this huge network. From starting up, we had to meet with accountants, business advisors, all to our legal excellence advisors, and that's a network we've built, contacts we still remain in contact with when we need assistance or we maybe need to outsource other work or refer to people to them. So building that network is so invaluable to the business, knowing that there are people that we know that can assist. It's always really lovely knowing that there is someone, if we are struggling, that is going to help. And that was all built through the network we created from talking to these people, from meeting these people. So anyone who is a small business, I highly recommend getting to any networking events you can find. I mean, the fabulous Business Hive, they are amazing at putting these networking sessions on every month. I mean, I think there's 2 a month, I believe. So just getting there, even if you don't initially think you're getting anything out of it, I think eventually it does pay off. And I know I can personally say it's definitely paid off for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So just finally then, Esther, if people want to get in touch with you and find out more about Rands Solicitors, what's the best place for them to find you?
I mean, like I said, the internet is amazing. We've got our website, we've got a LinkedIn, we've got our own personal LinkedIns, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, and then even the old-fashioned route, we've still got a landline. So really, any way of getting in touch with us, I'm sure if you type in Rands Solicitors on Google, you'll find us. The same goes for Facebook and Instagram. And like I say, the telephone number, it's so we're quite available, I believe.
Excellent. Well, we'll put a link to your website in the show notes. So thank you very much for joining me, Esther, and the best of luck with your degree.
Oh, thank you. Thank you ever so much for having me, Liz. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for listening to Small Business, Big Network. If you found this podcast useful, please do rate, review and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with the rest of your network too.